Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This concept by Carl Jung, one of the most famous psychiatrists that has ever walked the earth, is as scary as it is inspiring. It made me realize how much I was walking through life essentially with my eyes closed, and how easy it is to become trapped in autopilot. I feel like these days it feels like the world is becoming increasingly dark and inhospitable. So don't be your own enemy. If anything, you should be your #1 supporter. Hello and welcome to Tea Time for Creatives. Feel free to grab any kind of drink that you'd like, because today we'll be talking about limiting beliefs. If you feel like you've been living in autopilot and want to evolve your mindset to become more aligned with your highest self, here are some steps that I found helpful both in theory and in practice. So step 1 is reflection. A lot of limiting beliefs are by nature subconscious because they've become so ingrained in the way that we think over a long period of time. They can be inherited from your parents or from personal experiences that have made you feel small or ashamed. Once you realize that your external reality is often a reflection of your inner world, you'll begin to notice how your thoughts literally shape how you perceive reality. For a long time, I didn't even realize how harmful my own thoughts were, and how the way I talk to myself in my head shapes my daily habits, the actions I make, the interactions I have with other people, and I didn't even realize how much of a rigid box I had created for myself until I started deconstructing who I really was. One thing that's so important to remember is that your identity is not crystallized. It is always fluid and evolving. This is what they call neuroplasticity. I would always say things like, I'm just such a shy person, or I'm terrible at public speaking, or I'm not good at articulating my thoughts out loud. And a really big one was, this is just the way I am. And when I genuinely thought about these traits I had assigned to myself, I realized that they're not really serving me in any way, and what they're really doing is just providing a sense of familiarity and safety in my comfort zone. But I knew that if I really wanted to become the best version of myself, those self-deprecating thoughts were no longer aligned with me, and the best part is that we can change them. Of course, it feels like pretending at first when you change your thoughts and start saying things like, I'm naturally good at communicating my thoughts, and I'm good at speaking in front of people, because the shift is not always immediate. And it's almost like a fake it till you make it mentality, but I feel like instead of being fake, it's actually moving closer to the more authentic vision of yourself that you want to align with. Okay, moving on to resistance. Usually when you feel resistance towards something in your life, it is telling you something that you need to know about yourself. The key is being able to listen to it despite the frustration in the moment and identifying what exactly you are feeling resistance towards. Resistance is what I would describe as a tension that says, I no longer align with this, or I really don't want to do this, or what would I rather be doing right now and why? I feel like sometimes you know what's best for you, and your inner voice is always trying to tell you what direction to go in, or it's pulling you towards something different. And I think that's why it's so important to pay attention to the things that you're naturally resistant towards, and to really dissect why and figure out what it's really trying to tell you. The next step that I found really helpful was redirection. And this is kind of a way to eliminate or reframe negative self-talk. A lot of the times our inner monologues can sound kind of like, I can't do anything right, or I'm not good enough, or I should have tried harder. Some of my favorite affirmations to help with redirecting my thoughts are, all is well, or I'm safe to grow, or I'm becoming a little bit better every day. It's so nice to remember that growth takes time, and you often won't even notice how much has changed until one day you look back and barely recognize your old self. And it's so important to remember to give yourself grace and try to be as kind to yourself as you possibly can, because at the end of the day, the person you spend the most amount of time with in your life is you, and you deserve to enjoy your own company. You should also remind yourself how far you've come and how many hard times that you've made it through even when it seemed impossible. And the next step is to release. In order to make room for your new identity, you need to be willing to release the parts of you that no longer serve you. To some extent, you need to be willing to trust yourself and your inner sense of knowing what aligns with your highest self. This can often be the most difficult and uncomfortable part of growing, because we're literally designed to seek comfort and familiarity. So stepping into anything new and unfamiliar, even if that means changing the smallest habits or trying to create more than you consume, it's inevitably going to feel uncomfortable. But if you truly want to evolve your mindset and align with your dream self, you have to accept the growing pains and combine intention with action. You do not become what you intend, you become what you repeat. This concept from Aristotle conveys the importance of aligning your daily actions and decisions with your intentions. The author of Atomic Habits, James Clear, says that becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. That is to say that the more you physically and mentally embody the identity of your ideal self, the closer you will get to where you want to be. And it's especially good to write down the habits of your old identity that you want to release, and on the opposite page, write down the habits of your desired identity. And one example could be doom scrolling on social media, and on the other page you can write maybe having a time limit on social media apps, or just to create something every day so that you end up creating more than you consume. And writing things down is not only good for recording your journey and progress over time, but it's also a way of processing your thoughts and reflecting on who you actually want to become. And finally, please remember that you're not alone, and even if you make 1% of progress every day, you have the power to become the version of yourself that already exists somewhere out in the ether. And a final note, I just want to say thank you so much for all of the love and support, and I'm genuinely so grateful that we're all existing here together on the same planet in the same timeline, unless you're watching this in like the year 2080 and YouTube is hopefully still around. It brings me so much joy to hear all of your thoughts and connect in the comments, and I hope you stick around on this journey of becoming more aligned with our more authentic selves.